Well, thank you so much for joining me. I am joined here on the Baseball Insiders YouTube channel by two Milwaukee Brewers young stars, Sal Frelick and Brice Turang. And we are here to talk about, courtesy of your relationship with Northwestern Mutual. I would love if you would start us off by talking a bit about your relationship with Northwestern Mutual, how they've helped your financial planning and everything you've learned, because I know it can be really difficult and scary to juggle that, especially right at the start of a baseball career.
Yeah, I'll start us off, Adam. But yeah, so obviously Northwestern Mutual being a big sponsor of the Milwaukee Brewers. I know Brice and I are super pumped to kind of connect with them. And our whole goal was obviously just doing this My Time to Plan series with them, which is really just a way of us kind of getting out the word and kind of getting a ball rolling on just how important it is to be able to financially plan and budget, just kind of have an awareness of it. I know Brice and I were talking, growing up, obviously your parents kind of help you out and tell you stuff, but when you finally enter the real world, I think is when you kind of wake up and say, wow, this is kind of hard. And, there's a lot of stuff that I got to pay for. So I think I'm, really excited as well with Brice for this partnership, but it is definitely just to, kind of start a conversation.
Both of you were also first round picks. So that sort of adds to that immediate financial pressure that you feel. How did you both manage to deal with that whirlwind, and how did sort of remembering that cycle, feed into what you've learned by working with Northwestern Mutual?
I was lucky. My parents helped me out a ton. They were huge influences on me, with how to budget, how to save. And, partnering with Northwestern Mutual has helped me out a lot too, and understanding stuff like that. And then being able to share my story for younger people or people to look at and see, kind of how our story is and how we got connected with it.
Amazing. Part of this is obviously people associate, making the big leagues with sort of making like a big extravagant purchase. And then starting your journey by being like, all right, well, I'm here. Like, what's my first purchase going to be? Do either of you guys have sort of a very memorable, like, welcome to the big leagues? I just bought this big expensive thing and now I have to deal with it.
No, I mean, I don't think so. I think, obviously, like you said, Brice and I were first round picks, which I think is unique. And with that, obviously, comes a signing bonus. But once you first get drafted, everybody kind of has a different signing bonus. But the minor league salary is the same no matter where you got drafted, depending on what level you're at. So, obviously, I was there for 2 years, Brice somewhere around the same. But, you're not making a lot of money down there. I really didn't touch my bonus at all. So there wasn't like this big purchase I made when, I got drafted, just because, I think you kind of focus on playing well and getting to the big leagues and you're not on this giant salary, but yeah, that's just for me personally.
Brice, what about you? Did you sort of have a welcome to the big leagues moment where you're like, I mean, you said your parents obviously took good care of you and helped advise you, but did you still have something where you were like, all right, now that I've hit this, I'm a first round pick, I got to make a stamp. Did you buy anything where you were like, I've made it?
I mean, I bought a house and I got drafted in 18. I bought a house in January 2019. That was like my big thing. Being able to do that. Obviously, me and Sal are very blessed to be where we're at, where we were drafted at, and stuff like that. And but yeah. I got a house out in Arizona at the time, and that was like my first big purchase.
Well, let's talk a little bit about this year's season and the playoff action. Both of you in the Milwaukee Brewers postseason showed up, and Sal, there was a little bit of injury drama for you getting ready for the playoffs this year. But not only did you play, you hit 364, you hit this huge dramatic homer. Talk us through, those hours of prep work getting ready for the playoff roster. How did you manage to recover? When did you know that you were sort of ready and not just ready to play, but ready to really show off?
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to stay optimistic. Obviously, went down 3 days before the playoffs started, and I had no clue what it was. I thought it was like a bone bruise, a hip pointer. I've gotten plenty of those, high school football or just from hockey, whatever. But I really just I couldn't get up. I had to come out of the game, which is usually when I think it might be something bad, and I had to come out. And the next 2 days was on crutches. I wasn't really able to walk, and that's when I was kind of freaking out a little bit. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. And then I showed up the day before playoffs, and we had like a little workout, and I was like, I got to just try running around out there. So I went out, was just kind of jogging around, and was feeling a little better, loosening up, but just kind of dumped the crutches and said I was good to at least make the roster. And then the next day I showed up, felt a little better, and just kind of was able to get out and play as best as I could. But the trainers did a good job too, obviously, with medication and stuff like that.
Brice, you also hit 455 in this year's postseason. I mean, that's not shabby at all. Both of you are getting a little bit more experience. You got 2 runs under your belt now. Brice, do you feel like you step out there in October? Is it a different beast for you? Do you prepare the same way you do in the regular season, or is it a little bit of a different mindset?
Everything I did, like preparation wise, was the same during the season. And you try to keep it the same mindset, trying to win every pitch, win every inning, win every out, you know what I mean? And so, I don't know. I feel like I just kind of try to just play my game and try to help the team out and play the best I can, play as hard as I can, and win every pitch. And not, it's baseball. It's the same game. It's just there's more fans in the stands. It's a little louder, and but I try to keep it the same, try to do what I usually do, and just go out there and compete.
Now, Sal, as a current player, are you watching the rest of this postseason? Is it more difficult for you now as a current player to enjoy the rest of October? Do you still have rooting interest? Like, how do you approach watching the rest of the playoffs as an active MLB player trying to get better for next year?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. Everyone always asks me, are you still watching? Like, yeah, obviously, I'll be flipping back and forth from a football game to a baseball game here and there. I had a buddy in San Diego, Michael King, who we both went to Boston College. So when he was starting, I was tuned in for his starts. But yeah, so flipping through, I'm not like glued to every pitch and every game right now, obviously. It is football season, but at the same time, love seeing what's going on.
So you're telling me you actually flip back and forth between Daniel Jones and the baseball yesterday? That's what I'm hearing from you.
Yes, exactly. When Daniel Jones has the ball, I watch the baseball game.
Okay, good. Yeah, I tried to pull off the same thing. I couldn't get it done, but that's great. Brice, I'll touch on this for you. Pat Murphy steps in this year, something that you guys have experience with, but I think subverted a lot of our expectations, took the Brewers and even took a step forward from what many were expecting. Talk about what he brought to the team this year after Craig Counsell's departure and what kind of relationships you were able to forge with him, and just, how is that locker room different and taking steps every day?
Yeah. He's great, man. He did a great job. And the biggest thing was, he just allowed us to be ourselves and, play the type of game that you're supposed to play. In spring training, Sal touched on this with the other guy, but in spring training, he kind of came out and was like, this is the type of team we are, so we kind of found our identity and just kind of rolled with it. And, he pushes us to win each game, each pitch, every pitch matters. And win tonight was the thing. Like, doesn't matter what happened yesterday or who we're playing tomorrow, we got to win tonight. And you win tonight, like things happen, and look where we're at, winning the division, and he did a great job, and he allowed us to play our game and played the type of baseball that we played. It worked, you saw it, and stealing bases, bunting, moving guys over, just stuff like that. He just went out there and allowed us to play hard and try to win.
I really appreciate the time and the great answers from you guys. Just one last question before we go. A little bit of fun. I was in Milwaukee this summer for just like a day. My first time in Milwaukee. Unbelievable food city. All the legends are true. Sal, do you have like Sal and Brice, but I'll go Sal first. Do you have a favorite food spot, favorite brewery? Like, how are you adjusting coming from Boston out to Milwaukee where it's just like, the food is relentless. They're not kidding.
Yeah, so two restaurants I know Brice and I eat at a lot. One is Calderon Club, which is Gino runs the place over there. He's a good friend, brewer fan, but it's an Italian spot. And obviously, being in Boston, I love really good Italian. I think I found maybe one of the most authentic Italian places in the country. I've been to New York and Boston a lot of their little Italy's, and this could fit right in there. So I'm there a lot. And then Carnivore for a really good steak, which is right downtown there. I think is pretty much where I'm eating dinner at. If I have an off night, one of those two.
Brice, any spots jump out? You've been to Cops. Do you have a favorite custard flavor? Like what really stands out?
No, Sal hit it. That's those are like the two places that we go, and we like to eat there. Every morning we'll wake up and go get coffee at Fairgrounds, and that's like our little coffee shop that we'll go eat. Maybe get a little muffin or something and some coffee. But yeah, the two that Sal named are phenomenal. I could eat there every night if I wanted to. So yeah.
I went to Fairgrounds too. It makes me feel like I stumbled on something. So thanks for making me feel good about myself. Northwestern Mutual, the series is My Time to Plan, coinciding with Financial Planning Month this October. Sal Frelick and Brice Turang of the Milwaukee Brewers. So excited to see what you guys do next year. And thanks so much for taking the time to talk to me.